So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
I'm trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is not much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiba grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
Whoa.
Yeah, really. Hello. I want to start the show off with a question. Sorry, Chris.
What's that?
I'm curious to know your all three of your opinions on what's going on as far as bud tenders getting busted and being left high and dry. Who wants to start?
Bam, rip it off like a Band-Aid, baby.
Yep, you go.
Welcome to the show, and our special guest tonight is the one and only Chris Backer, who's going to share his personal opinions.
What the hell?
There you go. And Barker's there.
Yeah.
And he even agrees with all of that.
Yeah, he's got a lot to say about that. I think.
What do they call it? Mishigash? What is the Yiddish word? I don't know what it is.
Mishugana.
No, that's something different, Chris. I'll ask my mom later. So this is the 420 radio show. I'm Al. Hi. And we're here with Ross, Marcel, and Chris. And we're just hanging out. And for some reason,
discussing Chris's deep, dark secrets of how he really feels.
Deep, dark.
Tell us how you really feel, Chris.
Stare into our eyes.
Not how I feel. I think it's how a lot of different people feel. I mean, it's, if bud tenders work at a dispensary, is the dispensary responsible to, help them if in the event of a raid? I mean, like you were saying just before the show started, even the Emerys take care of all their employees.
That's right.
So,
I said that earlier. Yeah.
Do you guys think is it on the dispensary owner, or is it every man for himself?
I think that if you're employed by a business and there is a raid or there is an event that goes on, you're covered by an insurer for it being an employer, are you not? Usually, in most cases.
If you're a real employer with a real business, that's
okay,
really
but
legit,
hold on.
yeah.
These are real businesses. They're paying their fucking taxes.
That doesn't make it
not real legit.
No.
Right?
They don't
nothing to stop it from opening up and closing as soon as they get raided.
Right. And they're not taking unemployment or income tax probably off their employees or anything like that, right? I think there's also an element of yes, the bud tender was abandoned, and that's wrong. They shouldn't be. But at the same time, the people who go to work for these other people who own these places, they have to understand that they're putting themselves on the line too, right? I'm not saying it's all their fault, but at the same time, that's got to be in the back of your mind when you take that job that this could happen.
Yeah, I know somebody. I know
think
somebody who just started working.
The employee by asking what happens and who's paying the legal fees in the case of a raid.
Yeah. I asked that question. A friend of mine's daughter just started working part-time at a dispensary, and I said, "What do they do about if they get raided?" And she didn't know. She had no idea. And that question was never brought up.
Which seems odd, does it not? I mean, wouldn't you have a strategy in place to?
Yeah.
I would have a strategy of what the employees are to do as soon as the cops walk through the friggin' door.
It'd be like what do you call it at school when the bell goes off and you got to go out and file and hold your friends' hands and stuff. Same thing.
No, my advice to them
that
would be to fall to the ground, curl up in a ball, suck your thumb, and start crying.
Yeah.
Is that what you would do?
That
Ross?
always works. The cops go for that every time.
I would actually prefer that they offer them a cup of coffee and if they'd like some literature.
and maybe a cookie. Would you like a cookie?
Would you like a cookie? Some
but you're right. Regardless, there has to be a plan in place. Somebody has to have at least talked to the employees and told them what to do if this goes down, what they should say, what they shouldn't say, blah, 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 all that good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they should have a contingency fund set up to cover any legal fees that may arise.
And a lawyer on retainer. I mean, any dispensary that doesn't have a lawyer on retainer, they're just not doing it right.
Yeah, they screwed up to begin with. They shouldn't be really in business.
So,
because it's in the pay, it was just the news there just recently, but he's a bud tender there in Ottawa, right? It's happened to him.
That's right. Yep. Sean McAllister, I think is his name, and he was working. McAllister. Okay, he was working at Green Tree Medical Dispensary on Montreal Road, and now he faces 11 counts of possession for the purpose of trafficking, 1 count of possession. Possessing the proceeds of a crime, and 1 count of simple possession because he had a joint in his pocket.
Wait a minute. Now, what proceeds of crime is he getting?
A paycheck?
That's it? The paycheck?
I guess. I have no idea. Well, regardless,
that's like big screen TVs and ATVs and things. That's what I see as the proceeds of crime, not a paycheck.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and as far as all that goes, I mean, it's you're right, but I mean that would have to be the proceeds that they're talking about.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you look at what happened to everybody in Toronto, they're dropping all the charges on all the bud tenders through Toronto.
Not a while.
So I mean, even though he's facing them all, I mean, there's a good chance if things keep going the way they're going that they'll just be dropped in. He doesn't even need representation. He goes, they just dropped him against like all these guys. So what the hell?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. I hope they do that. I really do. And I think they probably will. I mean, most of them have.
I mean, yeah, so maybe he doesn't, really need a lawyer, but he's still, I mean, as a guy that does court support, going to court by yourself is a scary as hell thing.
I honestly wish that we could hear from this guy or somebody else that's going through this, because it's not fair when you go in and get a job. Yeah, it's your responsibility to find out what the rules are, but still, your boss should be covering your ass, especially in some kind of a situation like this.
Yeah, I agree.
Like if you work at a vapor lounge, and the police come in and raid the place because somebody's being an idiot and selling on the premises or something like that, that might happen when you take that job, right? First time I was in Vapor Central in Toronto, 2 bicycle cops came upstairs and stood at the door, and everybody turned and looked, and Chris said, what's up, guys? He says, we're not here to cause any trouble, but your music downstairs on the speaker is a little too loud. Can you turn it down, please? They're complaining next door.
Sure.
And that's what happened. Yeah, sure. No problem.
Is it 11 p.m. yet? That's all I would have said.
No, the right answer is sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't usually do the right answer.
Yeah, no. But the right answer gets you in a lot less trouble a lot of times.
It does. It's the long answers that get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Long and wrong.
Long and wrong, yeah.
It's going to be this is going to happen more and more often now. Or I mean, sure, it's been happening for a long time, and we just haven't heard about it yet. It's going to start happening more and more and more and more. It's going to create a spin, and then there's going to be people that are going to lose their lives over it, probably. Figuratively, not literally, of course.
All right, so now what's going on because we're still on the topic of dispensaries, what's going on with London, Ontario, and the warrant out for Mal McKeegan?
Have no idea.
Got Tasty Buds.
Oh, Tasty Buds.
He owns they issued a warrant for his arrest in London, Ontario after they raided the dispensary.
Really?
But he wasn't in Ontario.
So as long as he doesn't go there.
Yeah. So I think what his lawyer's doing is going like, what the hell is this warrant for when he wasn't even in the province? But I think they're going after him because he's the owner of the franchise owner or the franchisor.
The franchisee.
They grabbed the Emery's at Toronto Airport.
Yep.
So
yeah.
that's as far away from a dispensary as you can get, I guess, unless there's one in the airport now. I'm not sure.
You never know out there.
You never know, right?
That's funny.
I can just see it now. Actually, forget I said that. That's my plan. Don't anybody steal that.
Has anybody got a rolling paper?
I got a pipe. I just put some really nice bubble hash in my pipe. It's just like Afghani. Even smells like it.
I got no papers, man.
No papers.
No papers.
Got a pipe?
Got a pipe, yeah.
I got a pipe.
Bong rips.
You got that right. Water
can't do that.
No, I just use my Pippy pipe. I'll use Pippy.
Well, that's good hash.
I'm smoking some Northern Lights that I'm very proud to say I grew. It's my first baby.
Way to go, Al.
It's my first baby.
This isn't TV. You got to describe it or something.
It's subtle, yet a little harsh.
Sunday, I start clearing.
What do you mean?
You start clearing?
Start clearing my crop. Getting almost done.
Oh,
it's like a bamboo forest now. There's like bamboo stakes all over the place in there.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a hell of a problem.
Yeah, I've run into that problem several times, but it's not one that pisses me off for some reason.
No, it doesn't piss me off. I try to be as supportive as I can.
There you go. The dollar store also has really good deal on like 500 feet of string, which comes in very handy.
As a hydroponic store owner, I use emitter tubing.
Oh, yeah, well, that would work too.
Because it's nice and round and rubbery, and it doesn't hurt the plant.
Is there anybody in the chat room? I forgot to go in there. Is there anybody in the chat room? I forgot to go in there.
Yeah, Hillary's in there. I just said hi to Hillary. Hi, Hillary.
Maybe I should go say hi to Hillary. Oh, I better turn speakers down.
Hi, Hillary.
Or everybody will be hearing what we just said.
So, what are we going to talk about tonight?
I don't know. Do you want to go with the Health Canada and what's happening with them?
We should talk about the people who aren't here.
Okay, that's everybody.
Exactly.
Like who?
Except us.
Yeah.
Okay,
God.
Start talking.
God, we need to get another chick on this thing, dude.
Hillary doesn't seem to be busy on Friday nights.
Hillary, you want to be our new co-host?
Yeah, she just
as easy as that.
She said hi with a smiley face. So
I'm coming in the chat room to see what she said. What did she say?
Just say yes, Hillary.
Do it now. Do it.
I'm not agreeing to anything until I know what it is.
Oh, somebody just entered the room. What's he going to change his name to?
Al.
Oh.
Al.
Thanks. Ross has got monitor today.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that little yellow dot is. But anyways, if you want to come in and hang out with us and say hello and, get high with us or medicate, as they say, come to lifestyleradio.net because .ca will be answering by the end of the week again, but it's not right now. Or you can come to 420radio.ca.
And if you're on Firefox, get the fuck off of there and go on Google Chrome.
Wow. Are you being paid by Google now?
I just can't go into the chat room, or not the chat room, into the Hangout on Firefox. They still haven't got that fixed.
Oh, okay. I get
so
you.
Yeah, I'm forced into Chrome, and I don't know how it works. Where is my bookmark bar? There's no bookmark bar.
Do you have any bookmarks?
Yeah. But they're not on the bar, they're on the top bar on Firefox, so I can't figure out how to do it on Chrome. I can't figure out anything about Chrome.
Hashtag the struggle.
It is. It's a struggle with my, what do they call this? Browser. That's it.
Hang on.
I guess you might say I'm low browser.
Because I have my bookmark bar.
I just realized something, guys. I just outed myself.
You did?
Yeah, I told everybody that I'm smoking my first crop.
Yeah.
Oops.
All right. So, Ross, pay attention very quickly. Okay. Up on the top of your Chrome browser.
Yeah.
Across where you'd put to the right-hand side, there's probably 3 little dots.
3 little dots, yep. Mm-hmm.
Click that.
Yep.
Select settings.
Settings. Gotcha.
All right. And new page opens up or new tab opens up.
Yep.
And under appearance, third one down, put a tick mark in always show the bookmarks bar.
Oh.
You're a freaking genius, you know, and that
how
shift
long you been on the internet,
to go down a
Ross?
space, I'm using the hell out of that. Marcel, you're great.
Don't tell him that. Jesus Christ.
No, you just gave away our fucking secrets, man. Jesus.
He is.
No,
you're my hero.
no, take it back.
Oh crap! I need a new headset.
All right, so
my head grew too big.
I guess earlier today, Ross, was it earlier today? Yep. Ross spent some time on hold
I did.
Health Canada's cannabis department.
Yes.
What is it called? The Cannabis Bureau now?
Have you ever called them lately? I called them, I believe it was on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I was on hold for, I stayed on there for close to an hour. When I first got on hold, they said, your wait time is 166 minutes. So I'm like, okay, so I wait. And after an hour, it's your wait time is 122 minutes. And then a couple more minutes go by, and it comes back on and says, your wait time is 128 minutes. And I'm like, wait a minute, we're going backwards. So I just finally said, screw that, and I hung up. So I decided I would go back today and just go back on there and give everybody a little taste of what it's like to call the Health Canada helpline. And I was on there today for about a half an hour just to get enough material to work with. And I edited out a lot of the soothing music they put on in between. And I edited out a lot of the spaces. When the auto attendant talked, I don't know if you guys ever saw the video that I think her name is Kelly Leach. She's running for the Conservative Party leadership.
Yeah.
And she made that weird video where she kind of did all those weird looks and those sort of grimacing smiles and those long pauses in between everything she said. And it was like this. It was like her doing the auto attendant thing. So I cut out all those awkward pauses in between, and I condensed that half hour down to, yes, you guessed it, 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah. And so I've got that. So I thought we could critique it while we were listening in the background. And here we go. Now, can I ask you, is there anybody that actually answers on this part?
No, no. I was so far away from getting an answer.
Okay, so because Marcel was concerned that we didn't tell them we were recording. So,
they tell you they're recording, so I assume that it works both ways.
Not really. No. If you're telling them well recording the call, they'll probably hang up.
Well, they didn't get a chance because I recorded them while I was fucking waiting. So,
well, you just recorded the message that's public access, so it's nobody's voice.
But you're going to like it. This isn't going to be frustrating at all. It's only 4 minutes. I was so far away from getting an answer.
Oh, 1 minute. Sorry, I have to do something here before we'll hear the station.
Ooh,
there we
that's
go.
haunting.
I know.
You hear yourself like that. It's like, what?
Okay, hold on. Oh shit! Just a second. Damn it. Okay, we'll do this.
Tabernacle.
All right. Oh, I went past it now.
Al broke the internet.
I broke the internet. It wouldn't
You've
be the
done
first
it now.
time.
You've gone too far.
He's smoking his own weed. What can you say?
It wouldn't be the first time.
Oh yeah.
An agent will be with you shortly.
Okay, well, we're going to listen to this and talk and wait on hold at Health Canada's
if we can stay awake.
Cannabis Bureau. They would be the
August 24th,
CBI.
Access to Cannabis for Medical Purposes Regulations, ACM ACMPR, is the regulations governing Canada's medical cannabis program. Please visit the Health Canada website for more information.
This is an actual
She's
phone
not really
call.
talking that fast. I cut out all the pauses, all the awkward pauses in between. Keep that in mind. She's not talking that fast.
But on one of those things, she said something that I wanted to hear again.
Canadians who have been authorized by their healthcare practitioner to access cannabis for medical purposes will continue to have the option of purchasing safe, quality-controlled cannabis from one of the producers licensed by Health Canada, or be able to produce a limited amount of cannabis for their own medical purposes, or designate someone to produce it for them. Please note that storefronts selling marijuana, commonly known as dispensaries and compassion clubs, are not authorized to sell cannabis for medical or any other purposes. Please visit the website for more.
Yeah, we need some sound effects.
I got a sound effect for you.
No, don't do that.
Under the access to cannabis for
So,
medical purposes,
yeah.
ACMPR,
And so did you ever get answered?
amount of cannabis
No.
for their own medical purposes, or
Really?
designate someone
I'm serious. If you don't have 3 hours,
individuals need to
you
obtain
forget it.
authorization
I've heard about
from
people
the
being
healthcare
on hold for
practitioner
2.5 hours and then getting cut off.
register with Health
What were you
Canada
gonna ask
under
them?
the ACMPR, you must provide
Mostly, I was going to say,
medical
why the hell does it take so long to get through on the frickin' helpline? First question, right? And if I didn't get a good answer to that, my second question was going to be, why the hell does it taking 3 to 4 months to process a fucking application that you're then going to backdate 4 months back to when the doctor signed it? So you're losing 3 or 4 months off the front end. You're losing 3 or 4 months off the back end. And so basically, you get half a permit when your doctor says he's giving you a year.
Yep. That's
If
exactly
that's not
right.
a
Yeah.
denial of access, if that doesn't go completely fly in the face of Justice Phelan's remedy that he gave in the Allard hearing, I don't know what does.
What about,
you
the
think-
people that are getting 3 and 4 month prescriptions?
Yeah.
Well, that's just absurd. Yeah.
Do you think
grown,
that he's
that's
going to
just
say something
not-
about that eventually, Ross? Do you think that he's going to say something?
Who?
Phelan.
Phelan? Oh, I think he's saying something right now
By not saying
by not
anything.
lifting the injunction.
I get you.
Okay.
Health
I
Canada
don't
is
think.
not ready for that injunction to be lifted.
Uh,
They can't handle the influx of new ones, let alone all of those transfers.
Okay. If you listen to what she's saying, at one point they actually acknowledge that people are covered by the injunction, and they also acknowledge that they can't do anything about them. They can't change anything. They can't take their status away from them, and invite them to go ahead and apply under the ACMPR as well, so that they can then have their MMAR and their ACMPR at the same time.
Registration number associated with a former program, as they will not be accepted.
Wow.
You must obtain a new
There it is.
authorization from your healthcare practitioner and complete the registration form to register.
I think she just said it actually while I was talking.
Okay. Awesome music. Okay, I'm done with that.
Let it go. Just let it go to the end. If you can fast forward it to the end, because there's something at the end.
You
just gotta
can't fast forward it, so we've got to play it the whole
you can't?
420
do.
minutes.
Okay. Well, it can't have much time left. It's probably been almost 4 minutes.
I don't know. I can't
You'll know
tell.
because she'll say,
It's beautiful music.
Yeah, it's awesome music.
You don't like
No,
that
wait.
kind of music?
okay, listen. Wait, we're at the end here.
Oh, fuck this.
No, wait a sec.
You didn't stop it, did you?
Yeah, it stopped. It stopped
did?
on it. Yeah, it
Oh,
said,
okay,
"Oh
well, I guess
fuck
we didn't
this." You said, "Oh fuck this." I heard it.
Yes, I did. I said, "Oh fuck this," and I hung
Crouching
up.
Tiger, Hidden Dragon stuff.
Nice.
Sorry, I kill me.
Did you add that
Anyway.
later, Ross, or did you really do that?
No, I really did that. I said, "Fuck this," and I hung up.
Wow.
That's how I woke up this morning. To the
Fuck this.
Microsoft guy.
To the Microsoft. Wow, you had to call Microsoft
With the
tech
music
support.
playing.
No, Microsoft fucking called her first thing this morning. Raj, the guy in the call center in India that works for Microsoft customer support.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I
Yes.
know that guy. Yeah.
My computer was flagged, so This morning I just didn't want to play. And all I could say is, you fucking stop calling me. And all I heard was click.
I did the same thing to Census Canada this morning. I said, why are you guys calling? You guys have called me 10 times in the last 10 days. She looks it up. She says, 15 actually. I'm like, are you guys going to play this? Are you guys going to pay for this phone call?
The stats, you know?
Well, yeah, they are the Stats Canada people.
Right.
But I asked if they're going to pay for this phone call, and if not, take me off the list. And she was like, okay, sir, we'll remove you off the list. Click. I mean, she had a very nice voice.
What's Canada call you for?
I don't know. I didn't really even want to find out. I asked if it was cannabis related, and she said, no, sir. And I said, well,
she wants you to do a head count. So you go 1.
Yeah. No, I didn't want anything to do with it. Thanks. They can only force me to do that shit once a year.
You should have said, I'm in this country illegally. I'd rather not participate.
I'm living with 140 people in this apartment. Leave me alone. Go away.
I can't talk to you and bang up all this cocaine.
I have to feed the goat.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're just going to get ourselves in a lot of trouble if we're not careful.
We are.
Guys.
Well, we do have a disclaimer.
But we're doing it in the best hearted way. I mean, it's
yeah.
How about we listen to
I mean, I love early morning phone calls from Raj.
How about we listen to some reggae?
That would be Jaman.
Lasai. Lasai. Lasai featuring Sensi Rock. I got a lot of Sensi Rock. We're going to feature Sensi Rock today. This is High Grade 420 Radio Show. We'll be back.
Maybe.
Hi, it's Deb from BMA Hydroponics. Whatever you are growing, from vegetables to medicinal cannabis, we have everything you need to succeed. From seed to harvest to processing and extracting, we carry all the brand name products that will help you produce, process, and consume high-quality medicine. Our knowledgeable staff of qualified growers have decades of experience with home production, and all possess either MMAR injunction status or an ACMPR registration certificate. We offer the largest variety of products available anywhere, and if you don't see what you're looking for, just let us know and we'll find it for you. Visit our store at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville, Ontario, or visit our website at bmahydroponics.com. We can be reached at 613-967-9888, Monday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/BMAHydro and drop us a line at BMA. Our motto is, your success is our success.
This is Bubbles from the trailer park, and they're playing some fucking excellent music on lifestyleradio.ca. I hope I didn't sound too nervous there.
Please hang up and try again.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
That one you call him for you, the smoke of them, you know, say. Yeah, all who know smoke sense many and you know marijuana. Jano style. You know, sense right? Alongside the song. Combination. Yeah, this one dedicated to all who know smoke sense. From Alan to Spain, I represent. I grade on me ganja pipe. None of them not ready for go get me style. Me sing I grade on me ganja pipe. Free no follow bus you must supply. Me go say them I grade on me ganja pipe. None of them not ready for go get me style. Me sing I grade on me ganja pipe. Yeah. Police them in the streets fi search the ganja. Them try fi lock up the ganja farmer, but still we there with me in the car. Pick up to me high grade hustler. Yo, I saw me up to tell them about the marijuana. It was found with King Solomon. Come from a lamb tradition for the meditation. No man in a real life could a curse this a plan. I ganja me request when me go a foreign. That's why me big up everyone who do the farming. Put ganja in a me wrist and me no fall like caking. And get me fit pan the ground and me no skylarking. High grade of me ganja pipe. None of them not ready to go catch me style. Me say high grade of me ganja pipe. We not follow bus it tight. There me now. High grade of me ganja pipe. None of them not ready to go catch me style. Ganja in a big amount, more than 100 pound. Whole a biz spliff while me simp on the microphone. Light up me way, that's why me have to guide the ganja stand. Like a lot of shit, I bought it, cause we not give a damn. I saw me have to represent me ganja farmer. They get me sweeter pep on the canna. Now rub with me herbs when I joke a smoke all. As it worldwide, that's why I promote ya. In a bow for the officer who take where me herb. This a Mr. Babylon, the table will turn. It's not only a plan, it can save the shirt. Me a rust, that's why you see me with me ganja herb. I grade on me ganja pipe. None of them not ready for go get me style. Me sim I grade on me ganja pipe. We no follow but you must be blind. We go say them I grade on me ganja pipe. None of them not ready for go get me style. Me sim I grade on me ganja pipe. Yeah. All of the ganja pipe. Police them in the streets fi search the ganja. I don't be happy tell them about the marijuana. Police them in the streets. Police them in the streets. Police them in the streets. I grade on me ganja pipe. None of them not ready fi go catch me style. Me say I grade on me ganja pipe. We no follow bossy type. Learn me now. I grade on me ganja pipe. None of them not ready fi go catch me style.
Well, and I was going to say that, and we can talk about it if you want. I've been this morning. I was just telling the guys on the break there that I was scraping the inside of the glass of my vaporizer, and that's what Shauna Bonda did to cure her Crohn's. Crohn's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I mean, she didn't. She had a sphere with no opening. And she would she'd put some
vaporizer.
That's right. And she'd put some cannabis in the chamber and just let it vape onto the glass. And then she'd go
like
in with,
extract.
That's right. So she'd go in there with a spatula and clear it all out while it was still warm and get a pure extract. And you can there's lots of different vaporizers that you can get a dome for. I mean, you could get one made pretty easily. There's a lot of glass blowers out there.
Yeah, but I mean, they're a dime a dozen.
That's what I'm doing.
The problem with them is they're extremely hot.
Yes.
The majority of the glass dome vaporizers.
That's right. Yes.
Are extremely hot because all they've done is they've taken a soldering iron and put a little dish on it.
And it's nice. I mean, your product's decarbed when you're done.
Oh, yeah. It's all decarb resin that's on the inside of that dome.
So what is the resin, though? Is it a more concentrated version of what it came from? Or is it just like residue?
It's the vapor.
It's the vapor.
It's residue.
But is that residue, is it still got all the cannabinoids? It's still got all the cannabinoids in it and everything's in it?
It's basically
it's everything that you would take into your lungs is also attached to the inside of that glass.
So do you think it's like in a more concentrated form too? Like instead of being 50%, it would be like 80%?
It's black. Well, it's dark like an oil that you would use.
Yeah, and if you scrape it off the glass instead of washing it off the glass, you've got a solvent-free rosin, basically.
That's right. Yeah. So it's been a good day.
Except your temperature's too high to be rosin still.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Too high to be rosin, but you still have an oil.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it'll do in a pinch, right, Al?
It's been doing me fine all day. Thank you, buddy. And it'll do me fine tomorrow, too, because I got enough for the weekend.
Awesome.
Possum. So, what are we going to do now?
As long as it works, right?
I'm going to try something. Okay, I'm going to Facebook. I'm going to our 420 radio show page. And I'm going to use one of these new buttons here. And I'm going to click Get Phone Calls. And I'm going to type a message while you guys are talking.
Uh-oh.
You going to try and pick somebody up on Facebook?
No, there's a new thing there where I can make a call button thing that posts.
A nude thing? So it's a nude phone call?
Yeah, it's a nude phone call.
Oh, no.
You're making nude phone calls while you're on there with us.
Let me cover my eyes.
Or do I have the choice to view or not view?
Yeah.
Just decline. Decline.
Do not accept the charges.
Yeah. We have a call from such and such penitentiary. Do you accept the charges?
No.
All right. So if you want to call in at 1-323-795-2420 or look us up on Skype and for Lifestyle Radio. And because otherwise you can just sit there and listen to us babble away.
Yeah. Yeah. Think hard about that choice.
We could sing. So
We
I'm just,
could.
I'm just, okay, so I'm,
No, we actually can't.
For the
Even
first
if we
time-
did, we wouldn't be.
for the first time we're using this
It's
call
not
button. I'm
singing.
curious to see what it looks like. Hey, look at that. It looks kind of cool. That's cool.
Last time we tried to sing, the SPCA came.
What happens when you push the call button? Somebody push the call button.
What call button?
Go on the 420 radio page and then press I just posted a call button.
On Facebook.
On Facebook. You got to pick an app. Pick an app.
You could pick an app.
Pick an app.
Yeah. So far, you're not batting a very good margin here.
Are you speaking English?
And Skype. I'm choosing Skype. Okay. So now when I call, it should just load Skype. It's loading Skype. I think.
Okay.
I don't do
Yep.
apps.
How about live coverage of a live video on Facebook with John Burfellow and friends?
Go ahead. Sure. Give me the link. What does you mean? He's doing another. Okay, open Skype. I'm opening Skype. Is he doing a show or something? Or
They're talking about fentanyl. At
Oh, no,
670
I don't want any fentanyl.
no thanks.
Just say no to fentanyl.
Yeah.
say no.
Nah, pass.
Okay, Nancy.
Okay,
They're not selling the idea of it very well.
All right, it's calling.
No, they're not. They're not.
Let's
No,
see.
I think they're talking about how to mix fentanyl with cannabis.
You know, we could make
What?
a random phone call. Let me see who's
How about
on my Skype here.
Fentanyl with Coca-Cola?
Let's see who's on Skype. Oh, Rick Simpson is on Skype.
Yeah.
Do we want to
Rick's
call
good
Rick
knowledge.
Simpson?
No.
Sure.
This is Marcel.
Call Rick.
No.
Tell them to grab Jorge Cervantes and meet us, in the chat room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
call her.
I'm
I'll stay
scanning
on for Jorge.
Yeah, I would too. I just watched one of those 10-pound plant videos
You know
today
what?
on YouTube.
I have actually
You see those?
invited him to come on the show before,
They're awesome.
and he asked some silly questions. So I never did have him on the show.
What do you mean, silly
He
questions?
was asking me silly questions.
Oh,
Yeah.
like how much he would get paid?
No. Just
How much does a testicle, an elephant's testicle weigh?
I don't want to say.
That's a pretty silly question.
Yeah. That's a silly question. It was along that lines.
So Chris, do you have news today? Did you do the news?
We still have a half an hour before Chris gets to do the news.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I'm finding some news articles and I just didn't want to step on anybody's toes.
Did you assume I was unprepared? Is that what it was?
No, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't jump the gun
He
and talk about
insulted
anything
you.
that's going to be in the news.
I think it's safe to say that he just insulted you, Chris.
Out of total respect for our news anchor,
Sure.
Mr.
Sure,
Chris
sure.
Backer.
Would you like to do that, Chris?
What's that?
Would you like to do your news?
You said a half hour's fine, whenever you want.
Well, we might as well do
Whenever
it
you
now.
like.
I mean, we're halfway through the second half of the show. We haven't
Well,
done.
it's just that I'm finding stories, and I want to say something about them,
I
but
don't
I'm
want.
afraid
I
to.
don't
because
want
wanna-
Ross to blow his load before you do the news.
Talk about whatever. It's fine. I'll work it out in the wash.
Okay. You're sure?
Have at it.
Okay.
Have at it.
All right.
All right.
Let's
Go ahead.
let's blow this one up so I can see it.
All
Okay.
right.
It's
He needs specs.
titled "Haze of Smoke." Ottawa tenant frustrated by secondhand marijuana smoke.
I saw that. Yep.
When the smell of pot gets too strong for her Ottawa apartment, the only thing Karen Azar can think to do is place
light
a
up some
wet
hash?
towel at the bottom of her front door.
Yes.
Oh,
When the use is really bad, you can actually see a haze of smoke that comes through.
Wow. I wonder if she's
I can
getting
help her out.
secondhand Smoke.
Azar, who suffers from asthma, okay, asthma's not good, says she has to resort to wearing a mask at times, saying the odor is overwhelming. Wait a minute now, is cannabis not a bronchodilator?
Yes.
Then she should actually be getting some relief. So anyway, but I'll continue. She even puts one on her dog. Sorry, as her pet suffers from allergies. I'm sorry.
Okay, wait. I can understand her putting one on, but
I'm getting
is this
back
just
to
from pot smoke that she's going on about?
Yes.
Not
You
tobacco
don't.
smoke.
You don't even have to open the door to smell it. You can just stand in your apartment and get stoned.
What the fuck is she complaining about?
I want to rent a room there.
Al scraping old bowls to get it. She can just get it for standing up in her apartment. She's living the life.
Hey, wait a minute. Azar, a former smoker, says she understands a tenant's right to smoke in their own units.
Well, then that's fine. Then she agrees that they can.
But she's also concerned about her own right to healthy living. I'm sorry. Is nobody else finding this funny at all?
I think it's hilarious myself.
She wants her landlord.
Ross, Chris is muted. He must be laughing his ass off.
Probably crying.
I saw this one earlier.
It's hilarious. I mean, the landlord has to take into account, and they should be taking into account, how it affects the people that don't do drugs and that don't smoke cigarettes, and they're not doing enough for us, as R said. Well, you know, we'll start freebasing coke, okay? Would that make you feel better?
Oh, yeah. Then she'd be bitching about that smell, though.
I know, but, you know, she'd be really hyper about it, too, right? They're making crack out there. I know they are.
Some people just like to bitch. Like the guy in Halifax whose license plate got reported. The guy's last name is on his license plate.
Yeah.
And it was reported. Grabber.
Yeah.
Grabber.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at it, it's a hilarious license plate, but it's the guy's last
He's
name.
had that license plate for 27 years. And then Trump says grab her by the pussy and everybody goes crazy. Now the guy not allowed to have that as his license plate anymore.
Well, it's his last name.
Somebody reported it and was offended.
Well, yeah, because somebody got offended.
They said, and I've been arguing with people all night about it. It's insane. And they're going, well, it's an offensive statement. It's not a statement.
Bullshit. It's not a statement. It's his name.
Okay. What if your last name was Dixon and you were the senior Dixon and there was a junior Dixon and you put Big Dixon on your
right?
The word together is to get her. Okay, so are you not allowed to say that anymore?
No, grab her. It said.
What about the MP there? What if he got personalized plate with his last name? I mean, are they going to let all cock go through?
It's ridiculous. I can't believe that there's words that they're not allowed to have. Absolutely, but this was his name. It was on the application for the vanity plate.
Oh, he had this plate for a while.
Yeah, his name is Grabber.
They've
His
just
passing
decided
it down through the family.
Yeah.
This license plate's gone through a few of the family already.
I probably what happened is he went to renew it, and the person that was doing it said no.
Somebody complained.
Somebody filed a complaint to motor vehicles, probably to the transportation minister.
Oh, really?
And they pulled his license.
Oh.
Because all they could think it was Trump, right?
Yeah. I see that.
That's it. I blame Trump. It's totally Trump's
The latest
fault.
news is he's gotten himself a lawyer and he's suing the government of Nova Scotia for his license plate back.
The same thing happened last year, not this winter just passed, but the winter before, when Starbucks made those cups with the polar bears and they had a red scarf on it. And then somebody said, oh, look like a polar bear with their throat slit.
Yeah.
Okay, and that went like viral on the internet, and then they had to take the cup off because it offended people. They were disgusted. Which people are freaking ridiculous.
Only one idiot noticed it. Now, I was listening to a guy today on the radio that was talking about the whole license plate, and it was an older gentleman, and he said the problem is if you have a dirty mind, and that's the kind of thought process that you're likely to have, you're the one that's going to be offended. Because anybody else would just walk by that, grab her license plate, not even think twice.
Yep. And have been doing it for years, obviously.
Yeah.
And like Chris says,
20
Trump says grab her by the P, and all of a sudden, now they're all seeing grab her.
You know what? We do have a censorship thing on the website. You can say pussy.
Amen.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't think that our like Hillary probably wouldn't like that, and I'd be embarrassed.
I don't know. Well, I mean, Hillary's been listening to the show for several years. I'm sure she knows.
I'm sure she's heard much worse than that.
Okay, so she's heard a fucking lot of shit.
Oh yeah. Oh, now I gotta push that explicit button, dude.
But yeah, it's an actually interesting argument. People think that the people's right to not be offended outweighs somebody's right to the freedom to write their fucking name down, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You'll make him go and legally change his name now?
I remember when I lived in an apartment when Deb and I first got married, and we moved back up here from Florida, and we lived in an apartment for a while, and everybody there smoked. I mean, it was like a kind of like a college dorm, and you'd go down to the 13th floor and you'd buy your weed, and then you'd go down to the 12th floor and buy something else. Anyway,
snacks,
a little something.
So, but the main thing, like everybody got along great, and there was never any complaints about any of that. But then there was a certain segment of the population in the apartment that were drinkers, and they would have these big parties and all get drunk and stuff, and piss everybody off because all you could hear is their music blared and they're yelling and screaming, and then there'd be a fight, and they'd be in the hallway bouncing down the halls and blood down the walls.
So they kicked you out, huh, Ross?
Yeah, right. No, but that kind of stuff went on, and it was like, yeah, oh well, they're drinking, and that's what happens when you drink, But now it's like, oh, the smoking of marijuana, it affects my nose.
You know what? I am.
Jesus Christ, lady, what happens when the drunk people come bashing through your door and bleed all over your walls and shit?
Been there, done that. Been there, done that. Yeah.
I only have something happen to me like that in Edmonton, so.
I every now and then, one of the ladies, the only people I really care about in the building are the older ladies. They've been here 30 years, and they do make a remark now and then. But I'm the only one legal in the building now, so I mean, that smell's coming from me.
Offer to share.
I have. She's got something going on with her leg, and I've said, I've got a cream. You could put that on and take it away like that. And she's like, oh, no, in her very, very, very strong British accent. Oi, and all that. She won't do it. She will not do it. Yeah, it's that older generation,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's sad.
Even when they see the proof and recommend it to others, they would never use it themselves.
My mom talks about, my mom's 78 this year. It's her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Mom. She actually...
Happy birthday, Al's mom.
Happy birthday, Mama Al.
Gets questions from her friends because she talks about me and doing the show and that. So she'll get questions from her friends when they've got questions about cannabis, which is kind of weird because she'll call me up. Alan, one of my friends asked blah, 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 blah. And I give her the answer, and then it goes back, right? And she does tutoring not tutoring, but counseling for seniors, right? So
she'd be in a good position to sell a lot of pot.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're counseling seniors and you're going around to seniors' home, the best thing to do would be to take a bunch of edibles and condoms because that's what they want.
Wow. I heard that recently.
What?
I heard that joke. There's a joke.
That's not a joke. That's a fact.
No, I know it's a fact, but did you say that earlier?
I've said it before.
Okay.
The highest rates of sexually transmitted diseases
are in nursing
homes.
homes. Yeah, I know.
Or seniors complexes and things like that because old people are just
banging the shit out of each other.
Well, they don't have a lot of time to waste. They got to get busy.
They got old swinger parties down the road.
Yeah.
Well, we got something to look forward to, right?
Condoms and brownies, and you'll make every senior the happiest person in the block.
Well, I'll remember that when I'm going into one of those.
There you go.
Yep. Take the weed with you.
Wow.
You could set up a side business.
There are in Israel, they actually have vaping rooms and rooms where you can go and smoke your cannabis. And they actually have growing rooms in some of the nursing homes in Israel. I've read articles. It's kind of cool. They should do it more here. I know that one of the hospitals in the area, I asked if they allowed medication in the smoking area, and she said no, but we are slowly getting rid of the smoking area, and we're going to turn it into a meditation area. So they're preparing for it, a hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a good thing,
We can use pot at our hospital.
Can you? And I know that Lisa Kirkman out west there has really fought for that as well, for both her and her kid, I think.
Yeah, she ever, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Here, it wasn't even a fight. It's up to the doctors. It's the doctor's discretion.
Yeah, but you know what? When the doctor's away and the nurse doesn't agree with it, they're gonna... Yeah.
So is Jody Emery in the news, Chris?
Just one little phrase by her.
Okay.
All right. Well, then let's let Chris do the news. And then...
Sorry, I'm just scanning for stuff to talk about.
Then Ross doesn't get himself in a predicament.
Right.
We'll be right back after this little blurb thingy. Is it called a blurb?
Yeah.
Is it a blurb before me?
Technical term.
All right. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
When we come back,
technical term.
Okay.
You know the deal.
Let's do it.
Good evening. I'm Coulter Wonkite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
Welcome to the 420 radio show. This is 420 Seconds of News with Chris Backer. 4 Toronto police officers are being accused of planting drugs on a suspect and then lying about it in court. And Police Chief Mark Saunders is vowing to open an internal investigation into cases handled by the accused officers. In total, the officers are facing 17 criminal charges. The charges stem from a traffic stop in the Gerrard East and Broadview area on January 13, 2014. Nguyen Sung Tran was arrested on a traffic stop after police say they found 11 grams of heroin hidden behind his steering wheel in individually wrapped packages. But in September, an Ontario Superior Court judge threw out the charges against Tran and accused the arresting officers of planting 0.3 grams of loose heroin on the console of his vehicle to justify a subsequent search. If the heroin was planted on the console by the police and was not actually left there by the defendant, then the ensuing search was not authorized by law, the judge said in his decision. I conclude that this indeed is what happened here. All of the heroin that was found pursuant to this pretext for a search is, as they say, fruit of a poison tree. The accused officers are arrested around 7 a.m. Thursday following an investigation by the Professional Standards Unit. Though Police Chief Mark Saunders refused to comment specifically about the case at a news conference, he said that he has put together a team of investigators to scrutinize other cases in which the officers have been involved. Saunders also promised to earn back the trust of Torontonians in the wake of a difficult week that saw Constable James Fosillo found guilty of attempted murder in the shooting of Sami Atim and another officer charged under the Police Services Act for firing more than a dozen shots at a stolen vehicle in the city's Distillery District. district. I am still proud of the work that a vast majority of our men and women do, both civilian and sworn, and we will get through this, and we will do our best to get the public trust back that we have lost, Saunders said. Next, Toronto Police have raided 2 more cannabis dispensaries in the city, almost 2 weeks after the search warrants were executed at several of Mark and Jody Emery's locations in Ontario and BC. Police would not comment on the amount of drugs seized, charges laid, or specific locations of the dispensaries, but officers were seen confiscating large bags of cannabis, and former owner Joni Emery said one of the locations was 711 Queen Street East. It breaks my heart knowing that good people are being arrested and jailed, she told Global News from Vancouver. It's scary seeing so much brute force used against peaceful, nonviolent people, and to know that the government is just simply trying to stomp out the dispensaries in advance of the very prohibitionist regulations that they will be introducing. The Emerys were forced to divest from the 19 cannabis dispensaries they own across Canada after Toronto Police executed raids on 7 dispensaries and 4 homes in connection with an investigation dubbed Project Gator on March 9th. And Ottawa Police raided 2 more cannabis dispensaries on Tuesday, this time targeting a locally owned chain that was the first to open shop in town. Police executed search warrants on Magna-Terra Health Services dispensaries on Carling Avenue and Ivor Road in Stittsville. They carted away bags of dried weed, edible cannabis products, and oils. No information has been released on the arrests by early evening. It was the 13th raid on a dispensary in Ottawa since last November. Police have warned that the shops are operating illegally and drug laws against trafficking are still on the books. Dispensaries have been opening across the country in advance of the federal government's promise to introduce legislation this spring to legalize recreational pot. And police raided medical cannabis dispensaries in St. John Tuesday morning, including HBB medical locations. HBB Medical, which was started by Charlotte County businessman Hank Marchand of Bethel, has operations on Rossay Road and Chelsea Drive in St. John. The company also has dispensaries in Fredericton, Moncton, and Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. This is the second time police have raided the cannabis dispensaries in the city. Following the first raids, 12 people who were either owners or employees were arrested without incident and released on a promise to appear in court May 2nd. A state-run survey of 37,000 middle and high school students in Washington state finds that cannabis legalization there has had no effect on youngsters' propensity to use the drug. The Washington State Health Youth Survey found that the 2016 rate of cannabis use was basically unchanged since 2012, when the state voted to legalize cannabis for recreational use. In the survey, researchers used the measure of monthly use, asking students across all grade levels whether they used the drug within the past month. The survey numbers showed that neither the vote for legalization nor the opening of pot shops in 2014 have had any measurable effect on the rate of cannabis use among teenagers in the state. Concerns about adolescent pot use have been one of the chief drivers of opposition to legalization campaigns in Washington, Colorado, and elsewhere. Attorney General Jeff Sessions recently articulated the view when he told reporters that I don't think America is going to be at a better place of people when all ages, and particularly young people, are smoking pot. But the data coming out of Washington and Colorado strongly suggests that those states' legalization experiments, which began in earnest in 2014, are not causing any spike in use among teenagers. Teen cannabis use in Colorado decreased during 2014 and 2015, the most recent time period included in the federal surveys. A separate survey run by the state showed rates of use among teenagers flat from 2013 to 2015 and down since 2011. The picture in the Washington has been a little more mixed. A federal survey showed no significant change in teenage cannabis use in the most recent period. But a separate study released last year did find evidence of a small uptick in cannabis use among 8th and 10th graders in the state. But the Washington state findings in that study were derived from a national data set that wasn't intended to produce representative samples at a state level, said Julia Dilley, the principal investigator on a separate federally funded study investigating the effects of cannabis legalization in Washington and Oregon. And that's all one sentence. That doesn't make those earlier numbers incorrect necessarily, but it does limit how accurate they can be for an individual state such as Washington. The state's own survey, administered to tens of thousands of students and designed to be representative of the entire state, is more likely to be accurate for reporting state estimates, in my opinion, Dilly said. All in all, these findings are good news for policymakers in California, Massachusetts, and other states looking to start recreational programs. They suggest that legal weed has not had much of an effect on teenage drug use whatsoever. Even federal authorities, longtime skeptics of the merits of cannabis legalization, are starting to come around to the findings. We had predicted, based on the changes in legalization culture in the U.S., as well as decreasing perceptions among teenagers that cannabis was harmful and that accessibility and use would go up. Nora Volko, the director of National Institute of Drug Abuse, told the U.S. News and World Report late last year, but it hasn't gone up. And a woman from Big Island, Ontario, was on her way back to Ontario through the U.S. from Winnipeg with 2 other Canadians when their vehicle was stopped by U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers. The CBP officers selected that vehicle for a secondary inspection. During the secondary inspection, the CBP officers detected the strong smell of cannabis in the vehicle, at which point the woman admitted she had concealed cannabis within a body cavity in an attempt to smuggle it across the border. She was transported to a local medical facility for an examination, which revealed she was carrying approximately 13 grams of pot. This seizure illustrates the great lengths that people will go through in an attempt to import contraband into the United States undetected, said Pembina Area Port Director Jason Smells. The drugs were seized and the woman was issued a citation by the Russo, Minnesota County Sheriff's Office. And activist and author Dana Larson is on his second national Overgrow the Government tour to teach the hidden history of cannabis in Canada and give away free cannabis seeds. He'll be in Bedford, here in Nova Scotia on Monday. He'll be talking about the hidden history of cannabis, how to open a dispensary, what's going on with legalization, and cannabis solutions to the fentanyl crisis. There'll be hundreds of free cannabis seeds for everybody who comes, so you can help overgrow Canada. Legion's on the Bedford Highway, Monday, March 27th. Dana talks at 7 o'clock. And just a reminder to everybody, this is now wildfire season, and that anyone burning should check where and when burning is permitted. And stay safe. Peace, love, and hippie shit. That's been 420 seconds and maybe a little bit more. Guys?
Just a little bit more.
Just a little bit, eh?
But that's okay.
But that
Very
was
informative, though.
In a little bit.
I'm sure that we have a few people that only listen for Chris's news.
I doubt that.
And they're all bailing right now.
Yeah, they're all leaving because they don't want to hear us anymore.
Well, they heard the news, so yeah, it's just those guys again.
Yeah.
Yep. Turn off the
But
TV.
it's pretty depressing to hear about all the raids, man.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yep.
And it's still nothing but a waste of taxpayers' money.
So it says that our domain, lifestyleradio.ca, has been successfully transferred.
Oh.
But it's not answering yet.
It says no longer suspended?
I don't know if it's answering that. Let's see. This is lifestyleradio.music. No, it goes to .net.
The domain Atrix.
This account has been suspended.
Yeah, it'll change in the next few days.
It broke.
Go back to the way it should be.
Makes you think you went to high school or something.
Yeah, well,
I'm sure the friend you're looking for has been suspended this week.
I'm seriously thinking about combining everything.
For smoking
anyways.
cannabis.
Yeah, we've been suspended for smoking cannabis. That's what we got there. Yeah.
So who didn't get caught by some teacher sometime through high school smoking cannabis?
I used to smoke pot with my math teacher.
You didn't?
I never got caught.
Yeah, grade 10, outside having a puff with a buddy before we went into school. Go into homeroom. Teacher's looking at me like with these glaring eyes as I walk in, and of course I'm just getting off, right? I'm like, whoa, wow, and he's giving me these drilling looks, and then he says, "So, did you have fun?" And I'm like, "Well, what are you talking about?" He's like, "I saw you out there. I saw what you were doing. you were smoking marijuana.
He was being
and I'm like, well, no, I was just smoking a cigarette, sir. And it's like, no, that was marijuana. Nobody smokes a cigarette like this. Putting the fingers up to his lips, right?
You got to make a video of that.
And I'm like, oh, well, like, no, it really was a cigarette. He says, you know what? He says, that's okay. If you want to be dead by the time you're 30, you just go right ahead and do that.
Okay, I will. Thank you for
So I was like, so I just looked at him, and the whole class burst out laughing when he said that. It was great. So I kind of strutted my way down to my desk, sat down, and kicked back, like, yeah, 30, right, dude.
You're the coolest kid in the class now.
I was at that point when the class broke out laughing when he said, "If you want to die at 30," I was Mr. Cool, and I was high as a kite.
Mr. Die at 30.
Die at 30. Yeah, you want to be dead at 30? That's fine. You go for it. Yeah. So I went for it. 61 now. Just saying, Mr. I can't remember your name. If you're still alive right now, I'm still here.
I remember I remember the two teachers.
Probably not. He was a drinker, Like,
well, that would do it.
I say.
I remember the two teachers that were most special to me, and that was Miss Warder and Mr. Leach. Those are the only teachers' names that I remember because they had the most impact.
I remember a teacher's name because it was such a weird-ass name, and it was Ostafachuk.
Ostafachuk.
And she had a picture of her standing beside her horse.
Uh-huh.
And her horse was a Clydesdale.
Ooh.
And she was as tall as her horse.
Wow.
That's a tall
She was
chick.
a big woman.
I was going to say Clydesdales are big.
Yeah, she was a big woman.
So
But
if you asked her to count to 3, would she stomp her foot 3 times?
No, I don't remember ever asking her anything. I was always afraid of her, I think.
Right, I would be too. Big as a Clydesdale, are you kidding?
Man, she was a tall woman. She was rather proud of that horse, though.
We really got to have some topics ready for these shows.
Maybe segments,
Yeah.
New rules.
New rules.
From now on, you're going to do a radio show. Be prepared.
Oh, we're prepared.
What a novel idea.
We're prepared.
We could talk about something that's finally happening in medical cannabis. I mean, look, let's go back to the roots here. Talk about a little bit about medical cannabis and about a study that's now being done right here in Canada by an epileptologist. Did you know there was such a thing as an epileptologist?
I would imagine it's somebody who studies the medicine of epilepsy.
That is exactly it. Dr. Richard Tang Wai at the University of Alberta is trying to learn if concentrated cannabis oil can be used safely in children with epilepsy. I've got to tell you, Dr. Richard.
Oh my God, Dr. Richard, we should talk. I'll send you something for a clinical trial if you'd like.
Yeah, and I'll give you the names of about a half a dozen moms that you can go and talk to about their epileptic children and how much concentrated cannabis oil has helped them. Because, I understand that there's got to be peer-reviewed science done and stuff like that. But it's all like there's this novel notion that has come forth by an epileptologist who has thought, oh my goodness, I wonder if cannabis oil will work on epilepsy. I'm going to test it and see.
Well, I mean, it's a good way to get a research grant, isn't it?
It is. And I suppose it's something that's needed for all the naysayers and the government policymakers who say, well, we just don't have enough evidence to prove that blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, okay, do that, but don't sit here and pretend that you're breaking new ground and making great discoveries and stuff like that, because you know what? Those moms have already done that. They've blazed that trail. They've done the experiments. They've got the results, and they even have it documented through their own physicians exactly what it's done for their children. I know it's all anecdotal, Right. Yeah, it's just anecdotal, but I don't think those mothers care. And you know what? More importantly, I don't think those kids care if it's anecdotal or not. When you see someone like Maya, who has 300 seizures a day and then goes for 3 years and doesn't have one seizure.
Yeah.
And then you see the pictures of her in the video, and you can see this like sparkle in her eye and a smile on her face, and you think, wow, like, what a fucking amazing thing, when a doctor is talking about a drug-induced coma being a reasonable avenue of treatment for epilepsy, when all you got to do is give them cannabis oil and they get a twinkle in their eye and a smile on their face,
But
what about
the same thing happens with Parkinson's too? It snaps
Sure.
right out of it.
The children.
And what about
get high?
What about Haley Rose? I mean,
diazepines don't get you fucking high, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like to the point where you can't even think or, pay attention or, you're lucky if you don't drool. Yeah, you're lucky if you don't drool on yourself, right?
Yeah. And so, that's if you don't get to the point where you finally find something that works and then disappears. That LP doesn't cover it. You can't find somebody else. So you're all of a sudden thrust back into seizures all over again. You had a break. Wasn't it nice? Weren't you lucky?
Yep.
But now you're screwed.
And that's the thing that really fucking sucks, because people are dying in those periods. Right?
Yes, they are.
And the science isn't there. The doctor can't go, this is what you need. This is the profile that you need to look for. Okay, because there's too much variance in it. You know what I mean? Even the people that are using the stuff that works, there's little tweaks that they're doing to it to get it to work optimum. Yeah,
right. And that's what you have to do. Is it's. I was actually thinking about this question and posing this question to you guys earlier today, and I might as well do it, because all of us end up talking to patients on a regular basis. And when a new patient comes along and hasn't used cannabis before, hasn't been legal before, what do you tell them?
What I tell them is microdose.
Yeah.
Right away. Do not eat that whole cookie, okay? Do not eat that
exactly.
whole cookie.
I remember the first time I ate a cookie, man. Holy fuck.
I tell them to watch the Rick Simpson movie.
Yep.
And I tell them that Rick Simpson says half the size of a grain of rice, but I'll tell you half of that.
Yep.
Okay. And go from there. The rest of it's fine, but I do half Rick, because I've seen too many people at half the size of a grain of rice just get destroyed.
Yeah. I've done that. I've done.
And when they're a beginner and their first experience is this overwhelming, high, that euphoria and whatnot, and anxiety and all those other things that come along with basically overdosing on cannabis.
It put me in the hospital.
They'll never do it again, and they're afraid of it, and they speak badly of it. Whereas if you just, you're sensible with it and you microdose it and you start off with a little bit, and then work your way up.
I think everybody's done it though, Ross. I know I have. I thought I was having a heart attack. I called an ambulance and went to the hospital. They said, "What's wrong? My heart feels like it's going to jump out of my fucking chest. All I needed to do was sniff some fucking pepper." Now you tell me.
And that dragon in the kitchen is going to get me.
Yeah, but that's what was going on. I had just started taking oil, and I was just and I know somebody else who's recently just done that. And then she went, "No, you take it. I don't want it anymore." And then I went and did it. But
it scares them off of it pretty quick.
It does scare a lot of people. But if you,
I have to say to that is, look, if you're going to compare, I compare it to drinking. The first time you drank too much, you drank too much.
And that's what I was
friggin' horrible. Okay, you got too drunk, you threw up. You had nightmares. You woke up the next morning. You said, "I'm never doing that again."
That's right.
Did you quit? Did you drink again?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Of course you did.
The next night, probably.
Okay, so why would you back up because it's weed? Don't be a pussy.
Well,
it's what's missing here to be a retard. So of course you're going to go and do it again.
Yeah. Like back when I puked my guts out the first time I got drunk, there was this peer pressure thing, and plus you wanted to look like an adult. But when you're talking about an older person who's trying to treat an ailment and they overdose, that's kind of a different thing.
Totally.
It does scare them.
Oh,
and,
yeah. It scared the
and
shit
you got
out
to
of me.
avoid that at all costs because they are the ones who can benefit the most from medicinal cannabis. And
however, when you're dosing with oils, with concentrates, okay, and you're looking to increase your dose, you start off small and you're trying to increase it. You're basically trying to get to the highest dose you possibly can as fast as you can. And in doing
on
that,
what you're trying to treat.
Absolutely.
Right.
I always end up talking like it's a cancer thing, matter of life and death. So that's kind of why I go that way with the conversation. But when you're doing that, you're always you run the risk of, when you're trying to get as much as you can, of taking too much. So there is that's invariably a risk. Even when you've been taking enough and it's your next time to increase, you can have a little bit too much and it be more than you were counting on. That's all.
I start everybody at the same dose.
What's that?
1/100th of a gram of oil.
I just, when I first started, I was told with the tincture, teaspoon in the morning, teaspoon in the evening. And that's what I started with.
It's easy to do that, but if you know how strong the tincture is.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
I can make you a tincture that a teaspoon of it, you'd be wrecked for a week.
I know. Yep, I know.
Right? It just depends on how strong you're going to make it.
But the oil, 100th of a gram is you get 10 milligram capsules, right? So it makes it nice and easy.
Yep.
And again, everybody's different.
It is. I was just thinking that too.
Low dose, if you start at a low dose and you do proper titration and work them up, they can get to a point where they have complete symptom relief, which means that they're also being healed at the same time without the psychoactive effects.
And the microdosing and starting off at the 1/100th of a milliliter and all of that stuff is great because, like Al just said, everybody is different and everybody has different
and you've got to
tolerances
find the right.
You got to find that level for them. Like I know for myself, who I've been using cannabis for more years than I want to say right now because anybody who might be listening probably isn't even as old as I've been using cannabis, but I can still overdose on edibles. If I eat a whole cookie, I lay awake till 3 a.m. tripping, and Deb will eat like 3 cookies and go, "What's wrong with you?"
Oh yeah.
It's like, wait, you ate 3 cookies? Wow,
Now, see, with me, edibles don't even affect me.
Yeah,
I can eat massive amounts of edibles.
But you're one of those people. You're one of those tolerant people. I don't think I could ever build up that kind of tolerance where I could take as much as you. Ever.
Yeah, you can.
I know people that can never take not
every day. Yeah.
No matter how much you wipe off the toothpick, that would still destroy them.
Right. I know people that can't handle 1/100th of a gram of oil for a dose, that they get super high. And really, if you've got a 30% oil, that's only 3 milligrams of THC will set them off completely. So in those cases like that, I cut it in half.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So now you're down to 200 doses per gram.
Right. And if that's what it takes, then that's what you use. But at the same time, I wonder about the endocannabinoid system. Obviously, it's what is different in each and every person. And the way that your CB1 and CB2 receptors receive those cannabinoids are different for different people. And that's not because of terpenes. That's not because it's something that's inherent probably on the genetic level within people's brains.
Or or a malfunction within the endocannabinoid system. Because the endocannabinoid system produces more cannabinoids than just anandamide. And
True. And you could be producing a lot of cannabinoids naturally.
Right. And but what happens if you're missing one of those cannabinoids, which would obviously not be THC? and all you're doing is dabs with butane extracted oils, right?
Yeah.
Then you're losing that whole range of cannabinoids. So I start everybody off the same dose, low dose, with full plant extract with a full complement range of all of the cannabinoids. Because if they're sick, then at least we're going to hit one of the cannabinoids that might be deficient in. And we have great success.
I know you do. And cannabis has great success. You can't take all the credit, right? It's the cannabis.
Oh, no. And it's just figuring out the right balance for the patient. And that's what we've been able to do.
It's all about dosing. And that's what I tell everybody, when they're starting out or whether they've been doing it for a long time and they're talking about helping somebody else out who hasn't used it. I always tell them, it's all about the dosing. Microdose first, start low and go high.
Go slow.
And go slow. Yeah.
But it also depends on the strain you're using too.
Right? Yes and no.
Yeah, I mean,
I can say yes and no because I mean I've done this with indicas. I've done this with sativas. I prefer indicas, but even mixing different strains works extremely well because
that's what I like to do.
That's what I like to do.
That entourage effect where you get
the wider range of
broad spectrum cannabinoid, across the board, and that's the best way to attack. I think almost any ailment that you can think of.
Yeah.
When I find a strain, like I really don't like that feeling of being couch locked. I hate it. For me, I feel that way when I'm depressed. Okay. So I want something up. And if I've got a really high THC and I've got something else that's middle of the road, if I mix them, I'm going to get a better effect than if I just use the high THC because I'm going to get couch locked and I don't like that feeling.
Sure, but you'd end up getting more coach lock from smoking trim than you would bud too. Just keep that in mind, bud.
True enough.
And the reason being is there's some more CBD on the trim than there is on the bud.
That's right. Yes.
CBD forms
THC
first.
Too. Yep.
Wow, man.
Right. So there's CBD forms first.
Yes.
And the buds start, or the
that's why there's a lot
from
of
the bud out. So all of the new trichomes out on that trim, is going to essentially be CBD.
Yes,
are going to be down licking
and,
the leaves on
I
my
know
plants
for a
tomorrow.
fact that a lot of growers that grow for themselves personally, Lori does this. She leaves a little trim. Leaves a little of the sugar leaf on, a little longer than you would normally see on a manicured bud. Because
I do too.
She gets, and I do as well, because I I just trimmed up mine and I left a lot of the leaf surrounding the bud because I want the CBD, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I look at it as I want the whole range of cannabinoids that the plant has to offer.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Fair enough.
So I want them all. I take them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even in the stock, there's a lot of CBD. And in the
no, not a lot.
No, but
no, there's not a lot in the roots. In all honesty, after playing with roots for as long as I have.
So what's the big deal about the root tea then? I mean, that's supposed to be pretty damn potent.
It's a novelty. It's
For
not
what?
potent at all.
Really?
It's not potent for what?
Really?
Not going to get you high.
Wow.
There's nary a cannabinoid to be found in a root.
Yeah.
There just isn't. And if you
it-
get
yeah,
any,
'cause
it's
it
probably
goes up.
accidentally you got some shake under the roots.
Really?
I mean, there's just nothing in them.
In all honesty, roots are more work.
I didn't
than the
know
work.
that.
I mean, if you're going to make artisanal soaps and you want some nice abrasiveness to it,
Yes.
then grind up the roots and throw them in. It'd be ideal.
Okay.
As would
But
stock.
then pretty much any root would do, right?
Right.
From any plant.
Okay.
But-
you see, I was always told that you should always keep the roots and make root tea.
You read a lot of things that
Yeah. Well, you
are
see,
written by people who claim to know things.
that's why I have you guys.
I mean, on the islands, the Caribbean islands, they've been the residents there. The old timers,
Jamaicans have
cannabis
root tea.
for years and years. And
Jamaicans
years.
do that as
They
well,
claim
right?
It's a great health benefit, and it could be because there's great health benefit to drinking lots of root teas.
Yes.
Right.
But they're not getting a big range of cannabinoids in that root tea.
No, they're definitely getting those cannabinoids from that chillum that they're smoking.
Yeah.
They're using the root tea at the same time, and that's nice. But that chillum is delivering those cannabinoids.
Yeah.
So be it,
That's
says
where it
the
is.
Ross.
There you go. Yeah, your jaw man, you got the chillum man.
The jaw man. Well, I again, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah. Good job.
This is
I'm
my
holding
first.
two thumbs
This
up
is
for you
this
right
is
now.
my first from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
See, you didn't even take pictures of it. That's
I know,
what hurts my
and
feelings.
we should have a cannabis virginity loss party. Or something
Yeah.
like
I
that.
popped my cherry today.
He did. He popped his cherry. His cherry slider.
There you go, Ross.
That's actually a
don't
strain.
go
There's
too
a strain
far.
called cherry
Oh,
slider. Okay.
All right.
I used to have a G13 cherry slider cross.
There you go.
what?
Yeah.
I can't
That's a good
smoke
cross.
G13. Last time I smoked G13, I went into a rage from fucking hell.
Why?
Really?
Really?
It just put me into a just like, wow, man. You're
Turned
an
into a
asshole.
great big bitch, huh?
You're an asshole. That's what it turned me into.
Well, the buds look like baseballs, so maybe one hardened and somebody threw it at you and beamed you with it.
Yeah, it could be knocked you out.
I don't know. I don't like the G13. I felt like I was going to panic attack everything.
See,
He must have got the
too
good
much.
pheno. He got the good pheno.
I guess.
He had too much of a good one.
Yeah, probably. And that's where microdosing comes in. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Puff,
Especially
put
with
it out.
sativas.
Puff,
Yeah.
puff, put it out.
Yeah. You know what I really like is when you're couch locked, but your brain is soaring.
Well, that's
when you know
fine.
you got the entourage effect.
That's fine. But the couch lock I don't like is that depressed feeling. And you know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not smoking cannabis to make me depressed. Thank you.
Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Pink Floyd.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Yep, that works too.
Yep.
Did there's well, anyways, we talked about that earlier.
You know, I've been getting into Division Bell lately. I know that's off topic and everything. It's about Pink Floyd. But the album Division Bell, I kind of dropped off Pink Floyd after The Wall because that kind of turned me off a little bit. But Division Bell was actually a really good album. And I've been catching up on it now where I kind of missed out on it back in the 90s. And turns out it's some pretty awesome music. Anyway, that's my musical commentary for today.
Actually,
Welcome back.
I got that right here, actually.
Do you?
Yeah, I'll put it on after the show.
Awesome album. Very David Gilmour dominated, and I love David Gilmour. He's just an awesome guitarist.
That'll trip on the minute we end the show.
Cool. That's great.
Yeah.
Huh.
I just find Dark Side of the Moon to be an awesome one for
Yeah.
overdosing.
Yep.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Only because that set of headphones, sit back and listen.
Yeah. Comfortably numb. I mean, yeah.
Pink
Pick up all the
Floyd is
background
one.
at once. My problem with the Wall album is I've watched the movie so many times
Uh-huh.
that the album doesn't do the same thing to me that the Dark Side of the Moon does.
You know what did it for me with The Wall was the song The Wall itself. It made the top 40
Mm.
and it got played a lot. And I got tired of hearing the song and I started to not like that song. And I guess I let that kind of deflect onto the album. And
That's
and,
likely what happened to me.
Yeah. Whereas there's songs like Hey You, Mother, songs like that are on The Wall that are just fucking awesome songs. They really are.
Yeah.
And again,
Comfortably.
in my silly youth, I deprived myself of some really good music because I judged something on a single song that was played to death, and pissed me off.
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
So all you youngsters out there, don't get just all pissed off and shut something out. Let it in. Let everything in. Let it all in now.
Sort it out later.
Okay,
Even though you don't like carrots now.
Let it be. Let it be.
Yeah. Suck it in. Suck it in. Thanks, Al.
You're welcome.
And now,
This is
the meditative moment you've been waiting for.
This is
Relaxing interlude.
This is Boba Flex, and it's their cover of Hey You. So we'll listen to it while we're talking. How's that?
Beautiful.
Hopefully
Sure.
the
like
music's not too loud.
It's way better than that Health Canada music. Oh God, that's just awful.
So, who's this Bubba Flex guy, or group, or whatever?
It's I've never heard of them before. I've never heard of them before, but I'm going to check out their own stuff. I'm sure they've got their own stuff. I found this afternoon sometime.
Cool.
Just haven't gotten to listen to anything else but this about 4 times.
Yeah, it's an awesome song. Hey You is one of the best songs I think Pink Floyd ever did.
Yeah, I just like when a good band can cover it.
Yes,
and they do a job as good, if not better, than the original.
Yes, I agree totally. And I don't mind when they get into the different genre copies. You know, where they like Steve. What's the guy's name? Steve and they're like these country guys, and they play. The guy plays this banjo that's made out of a box, and the other one's drumming on a tin.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah,
those
and
are
they do
they're
all
called
these, like,
cigar box guitars.
Yeah, and Thunderstruck, you know,
Yeah.
and they do all these songs,
Yeah,
right? And it's
yeah.
like really awesome.
Yeah, I've
Like,
seen
everyone
that
like,
one.
Hey, that's cool.
The one guy comes in on a tractor.
Yeah,
I've
those are
seen
the
that
guys.
one. Yeah,
I love that kind of stuff.
There's
Noah Guthrie. You ever heard him?
Who?
Noah Guthrie.
No,
Guthrie?
never heard of him.
Not related to Arlo, huh?
No, he does a lot of
Arlo.
covers, but what he does is he changes the words, or not changes the words, changes the style.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was "Sexy and I Know It" by LMFAO.
Yes.
If you hear his version of it, it'll give you a totally different take on the. Actually, I'll post the link. It'll give you a totally different take on
We
the
can
song.
listen to it after this.
Yeah, there's the link.
Oh
in
no,
the,
no. Put it up.
Hangout.
Send it. Yeah, no.
Hang up.
Ross, do me a favor. Copy and paste that into our Facebook thing. Because I'm not
Gotta
on that
find it
computer.
Chrome now. Oh, there's the chat thing. There it is. Okay. Oh, I can't see the chat. I don't know how to use Chrome.
Here, I'll paste it again.
I
You're gonna
can't.
make me
I
go
can't
to-
see the bar. There's supposed
You're
to be
gonna
a
make
bar
me-
on the side.
It should pop up that I just said something.
Where's Marcel from Mumbai? I need to talk to him for tech support.
Chrome goes on your bumpers.
It'd be easier for me just to go to Facebook.
You guys just got
There
to
you
keep
go.
insulting
That's much
people
easier.
today, don't you?
Yeah, shut up. See,
You're white. You're dangerous.
there you go.
All right, oh, look, Marcel's on Facebook. Come on, everybody.
Not anymore, he's not.
Everybody message Marcel.
It's gone.
Spend as little time on there as you can, Marcel.
It's in the note.
Get him.
In the note. If you can't catch me while I'm there,
Oh, I'm
You know-
gonna like. Oh, too late.
People
Yeah.
ask me now to, have you heard from Marcel? I need to talk to him.
Thank you, Al.
Yeah, he was just on Facebook.
Yeah, he was there. You only have like 3 seconds to
like,
catch
whoop,
him.
whoop, on up. Oh shit, missed him. Damn.
That little X up in the corner does wonders for tabs.
It's the panic button.
Yeah.
Come on, Facebook, let me out. Poof.
Go on, go. Anyways, yeah, this Noah Guthrie, as soon as I heard the song, I couldn't get over how much he changed it to make it better. Plus, he's got a pretty cool voice.
Is this is?
At least he's just a young fella, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not that old.
I've secretly wanted to cover this.
Oh wait, a pop-up ad just came up. It says, "Meet Russian women online."
You guys can hear that?
Millions of Russian women beauty. No, millions of Russian beauties seeking romance.
That's your Chrome, right?
I guess I don't. Yeah, I don't have ad blocker. Damn, that's
Yeah.
what's missing. Okay.
Well, no, it's not that. It's Google remembers everything that you've searched for, so it gives you the ads on it.
Oh, don't give me that. I've never searched for Russian women. Especially not on Chrome. I don't even use Chrome.
I wasn't expecting that voice, Marcel.
I know, it's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah. I could see him playing video games while Power Rangers is on, you know? And then he sings like this.
I need a mic like that.
No, you need a mixing board like that.
I have a mixing board like that.
Well, an effects box. So.
Oh.
I mean, he's got some reverb and echo.
He's probably using an auto-tune something, or rather.
Yeah, I don't hear the auto-tune. I hate auto-tune. I know I can hear it right away.
He's got an amazing voice, that's for sure.
He does.
There's another one here, Man in the Mirror. I'll play it after.
I don't know about the sexy thing, though. I don't think he can look very sexy to me.
He does another one that he does is somebody that I used to know. Really good job.
Where I see Man in the Mirror. I see.
Come on, ladies, it's time to go. We're headed to the bar, baby. Don't be nervous.
Gimme, Christina.
Girl, look at that body.
There it is, Adele. Skyfall.
Yep.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Nope. Somebody that I used to know.
I'll look at his page. Hold on a second. Sorry.
Hey everybody, here's my new video for the...
Yeah. Leonard Cohen. Imagine Dragons. Let's see. Let's hear what that's like. Quiet in the studio.
I'm waking up to ash and dust. Wipe my brow and sweat my rust. Breathing in the chemicals.
All right. So.
Well, it's pretty good. Like, I mean, it's kind of refreshing, you know, with today's music.
Yeah.
With the millennial music, which you can't even class as rock and roll.
No.
It's nice to hear a little bit of a
He's got such a phenomenal voice.
He does.
That he just makes it work, and they'll change the song to suit his voice.
You know what else he's got that's lacking in a lot of his music? He's got some soul. Hey, remember soul when you used to put soul into music? He's got that.
But he's got that little boy face that's not that.
I know.
Doesn't get him far in the industry.
Yeah, you know, like he looks like a Nintendo kid. You know?
Yeah.
He sings like Jim Morrison.
I'm changing
like,
it here to Leonard Cohen, Hallelujah. I want to hear this. We got a commercial. Hold on. Well, we don't want to play Google commercials, do we?
Hallelujah is an awesome song. Leonard Cohen does that so well.
I met him way back when.
Yeah.
At the Juno Awards.
He was a good guy. He had a lot of demons, but in the end, I think he died a happy man.
Was it Beverly D'Angelo he was with for a little while? Or something like that?
He was with quite a few women.
Yeah. This kid's got a very adaptable voice.
He does.
Yes.
There's someone like you. Is that the one you met there, young feller? Yeah, Marcel?
That's the one with
Adele.
Christina Grimmie?
No. Someone like you. Adele. But yes, that's
somebody that I used to know.
Like as in a farmer in the...
No, somebody
in Adele, a farmer in Adele, a farmer in Adele.
No, this is a goatee song.
Yes.
I've seen this before, actually.
Like when you said you were so happy you could die.
Welcome to the 420 Music Show.
Well, you know, I suppose music is partly what we're about, right?
Well, yeah, it is, yeah. Dave and I used to do this a lot back in the beginning.
Well, you know what? I got to tell you, it's been a slow couple of weeks for cannabis news. Maybe it's just me, but it seems to have been a lot of articles posted about Donald Trump or this or that, or pictures of kitties batting at something, or other animal videos.
There's not been a lot of news, but there's been a lot going on cannabis related.
There's been a lot under the surface.
Yes,
like the water flowing under a frozen river. But cannabis culture keeps moving on.
Yeah, cannabis. The word of the month is cannabis culture.
Yes. Now we're not going to let anybody hijack that name. That is a name of a people. Okay, like that's our word. Okay, that belongs to us. And you can try to trademark it, but I don't think you can, because cannabis culture is not just a name; it's a spirit, it's a people, and we are them. We are anonymous. I mean, cannabis. I just outed myself. I was anonymous. Now I'm not. Damn.
I used to bug Amy about that because she calls herself Amy Anonymous. And I'm like, you ain't so anonymous. You know that, right?
Are you magnanimous?
You got to love the people that put the anonymous mask up for their profile picture and then use their real name. I always get a kick out of that. It's like, okay.
So
no, you're not anonymous.
There was a song that I posted today that I'm trying to find. Or somebody sent me a link to something. I don't remember. Oh, I remember. It's on our page, and the gentleman there that sent it will listen to that next.
Oh.
The submission there. Calvin Grant.
Oh, right, Kelvin.
And he is of music. He's from Musical Youth.
Yeah, I love his stuff. That was the guy. We got to play Calvin for sure.
Well, I got a song here. This is almost over. And then
bad day on the Canadian cannabis company stock market.
Yeah, I think there's more of that to come.
There's not too many went up today. There's a lot went down. I think the biggest drop was Canopy Growth.
Yeah.
Either them or Organigram.
Why do you think is behind that?
Canopy Growth, I'm not sure. I know what's behind Organigram. That's the class action.
They're a shitty fucking company.
You know what, though?
Sorry.
I think, I love the way the ACMPR works now, because it's not just a single medicinal cannabis program. It's split into two parts now. There's Section 1 and there's Section 2. I posted a few days ago. It's the ACMPR Section 1 versus Section 2. And Section 2 is kicking ass. And I say that because as more and more people get licensed for personal production, every plant that's grown takes away from the LPs.
Yeah.
And I think that on the larger scale, if you look at the total number of plants that have been prescribed to personal production people, it's probably the equivalent of half the LPs that are in operation right now. And that's not the way it was 8 months ago. 8 months ago, there was no personal production on the scale that you see it today. So where's that going to go 4 years from now? 4 years from now, if there's still the medical program still looks like it does, there's going to be so much medicinal cannabis being produced under Section 2 of the ACMPR or its equivalent, that these big commercial producers, there's going to be downward pressure on the overall cost of cannabis.
Right.
To the point where it's going to drive it down.
The majority of these licensed producers, and I'll say majority because I know for a fact that not all of them are going to be like this, but the majority of the licensed producers are hedging their funds or hedging basically legalization because they want to supply that recreational market, which is going to screw a lot of patients. Except there will be a few of the licensed producers that will stick and maintain specifically medical and not go after that recreational market.
You really think that? I mean, once like 60 or 80% of the licensed producers go recreational, you don't think that the pressure on the remaining 20% or so is going to be so great that they're going to have no choice but to join in?
No, I don't think they'll have to, because there's always going to be a market for them, for the medical side of licensed producers, because not everybody's going to grow their own.
Yeah.
And not everyone's going to want to go to a recreational dispensary.
True. But you know, they are a corporation. Corporations are profit driven. Right?
Well, that's
so
true.
It's all about profit. So if the price of cannabis erodes to the point where it's at a break even point and it's equal to their costs,
well, then there's no sense in them doing it.
Right. So that's
There's
where,
no sense in them being in
and
business.
that's what I think all the personal production, especially if they allow any amount of personal production for recreational, which I think they will.
I don't think they will. I don't think they will.
Well, look, if they said in the task force report allow 4 plants. I know they've been looking at Colorado as their model. Colorado had 6. Did you know that they just upped that to 15?
No, I didn't. But
yes, Colorado did.
Don't forget, you're going to have all of these licensed producers lobbying against that very thing.
You know what? Yeah, lobbying works, but when your price erodes, you can't lobby against that. You know, you can't lobby for a higher price if the market doesn't bear a higher price.
Take a look at what all of these licensed producers are doing and who they're bringing on, who are basically former law enforcement and former liberal politicians.
I know.
Right?
You're right. You're right. But you know what?
There'll be enough backroom deals and handshakes to come up with a regulation that is going to ensure profitability for those licensed producers.
Okay, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you an example of how that's not necessarily correct. If you look at something like the oil producers, okay, the big Exxons and the Petrocans and all those oil producers, they have all the money in the world. They have all the influence on politics in the world. They can influence regulation. But when there's an oil glut and the price of oil goes down below $40 a barrel, they can't, they're fucked.
Yeah.
Right. And all the money in the world and all the political influence isn't going to change that. So,
no, because they've got enough money to cause a shortage.
Yeah,
to drive that price back up, which is what they do.
They do, but they're still at the mercy of OPEC, right? So if there's this big, but that's what I'm saying is when you get that flood on the market and you get the glut.
But don't forget that's why they got rid of Gaddafi.
That's when people start to go belly up because the costs exceed the price.
Right. But that's why they got rid of Gaddafi, so that would stop because of what Gaddafi was going to do.
Right. And that's another thing. Shareholders.
Welcome to 420 history class.
Yeah. Licensed producers never have from the get-go, right from 2013 when Tweed first started breaking ground until today, they have never been a profit-based industry. They're not making money off of selling cannabis per se.
Yet.
They're making money off of getting investors.
Their brand.
Yes. And when what I just said happens, when the glut happens, when the price drops, when their costs exceed the price, investors are going to bail. And that's when they're really going to hurt.
Oh, definitely.
I can see that being a major difficulty. And, we know what they're going to do. They're going to over-regulate the hell out of cannabis when they first legalize it. And that's going to just keep the black market going. I mean, if they think that they can just legalize it, let a bunch of corporate producers, provide the market, and nobody's going to grow their own cannabis anymore. Well, first of all, you've got all those medical growers, and there's a lot of them. And then you're going to have the black market. It's not going to go away.
That's right.
not under a regulatory system like that. So I personally think that it's inevitable at some point in the future, there's going to be, at the very least, a craft cannabis industry.
Oh, I would predict that in the future that cannabis will be removed from the Controlled Drugs and Substance Act. The problem is we need a couple more generations of intelligent people to come through first to make that happen.
And it's going to be an evolution.
Yeah, it is.
Evolutionary kind of process, because
somebody's going to go up and finally say that, yes, they fucked up and never should have been illegal. We're fixing it.
Yep. And I think it's hard for them to say that we've been doing horrible things for 80 years. We've been treating people, violating their rights, treating them like criminals for a plant, and we were wrong. And you know what? I think one day, I might not live long enough to see it. I think one day there might be like an apology issued. I hope at some point where they say, we're sorry that we put all you in jail for a plant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I want my fucking reparations before I die.
Exactly. The other thing is where people demand that cannabis removed from the Controlled Drugs Substance Act and all incarcerated people be released from prison. While I agree, I also realize that that's not something that can just be done, because you can't put 1 million people onto the streets without jobs or support.
Yeah, but is that any reason to keep them in jail?
No, but you could systematically let them out as your industry and your newfound business of industrial hemp production.
See, now you're thinking. Yeah.
Right? Then they'll have job opportunities for them.
Or the craft cannabis industry.
Yeah. But
processing and the retail.
All honesty, there's more value in cannabis industrially than there is recreationally.
Oh, you know what? On every level, whether it's industrial, recreational, medicinal, cannabis has so much value. To the economy that it is just, if they really fully opened up the market completely, it would probably be the single biggest industry in the world.
Right.
I mean, if the whole world did, or in Canada anyway, if it was just Canada.
In the 1920s, Popular Mechanics come out with the article saying that hemp was going to be the world's first $1 billion crop.
And it would have been.
And it would have been until Hearst and DuPont didn't want any part of that.
Yep.
And jumped in on it. So, I mean, yes, if they remove cannabis from all of them stupid Controlled Drugs and Regulation Acts and the NATO moratoriums and things like that, the UN moratorium, they clean that all up and let everybody out. Yes, you would have a lot of industries decimated, but you would have so many more clean industries created.
Absolutely.
You could go into an oil refinery and refit the oil refinery to process hemp biofuel.
Well, for crying out loud, you can make cars out of hemp. You can make houses out of hemp. You can make, a 2x4 out of hemp, for crying out loud. You can grow a new crop. You can do that 2x4 might be a little big for that, Chris, but yeah, you could.
But you can also grow a new crop every year and not have to wait 40 and 50 years.
Yes, while the trees continue to grow and get bigger and older and live 1,000 years.
Yeah, creating oxygen for us and helping to reduce our greenhouse gas.
Here's one word for you: paper. Okay, if anybody understands the
rolling
paper
papers,
industry, the paper industry is huge.
Right? It is.
And if hemp was allowed to be used to make paper and grown on the scale that's required to do it, it would completely change paper. There would be no more clear-cutting trees. There'd be no more clear-cutting trees, which means all those trees would stay to suck up CO2 and let out oxygen, right, and clean the environment. And not to mention the thousands and millions of acres of hemp that are growing, that are doing the same thing. They're taking CO2 out of the air and giving back oxygen. It just can't be more environmentally
out
friendly
than a tree does.
It does.
Yeah.
And you know why?
It's been
why
proven that
have we
burning
not been doing this? Why are they still? I mean, they just tweaked the hemp regulations recently. Why the hell don't they pull the bottom out from under it? Why the hell do they have to bury good cannabinoids that are coming from hemp flowers, and they have to like bury it? They can't use it. If they extract anything from it or process those flowers, they will face the full weight of the law.
Because of these stupid regulations. But don't forget, all of those stupid regulations were brought on by the industries that would be decimated. Cotton industry.
But you know what's going to happen. They're going to be decimated. Yes.
They're all going to be decimated. I mean, the land for cotton now is so poisoned that they can't use it for anything else.
Yep. Because of all of the pesticides and herbicides and shit like that, they got to spray on cotton.
All of the chemicals that they've been feeding those cotton fields for 100 years have ruined that soil.
Well, they're very susceptible to insect infestations too. So they've been putting pesticides and all kinds of stuff.
So why don't we bring in Monsanto and create new pest-resistant crops of cotton, right? Which is the biggest problem that we have in our environment is doing that kind of shit.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Left hemp alone, we'd have better clothing.
Yeah.
We'd have better fiber. We'd have better paper.
Yeah.
We'd have better oils and fuels.
Amen.
We'd have better plastics because all of our plastics would be biodegradable.
Hallelujah.
Right? So
sing it, brother.
It's a win-win-win-win-win situation by using hemp. Yeah. The problem is there's not enough money in it for the people that control the government, such as the oil industry, the textile industries, the forestry industries.
I don't know. You know what? I think that the industry that would usurp the existing industry, the cannabis-based economy, would simply be building parts for cars out of hemp instead of out of plastic. They would be making fuel out of hemp instead of out of oil. You know, and those processes would all create new industries that would replace all those.
But the problem is the majority of our politicians are in place by the very industries that would be put out of work, such as the ones who manufacture the oils, the ones who manufacture the wood pulp.
True, but wouldn't there be a whole new class of industrialists who would come along and take the place of those old cronies and do the same thing basically?
Can we remind everybody one thing though, guys? Back in the day, George Washington and the Washington family had the largest hemp plantation in U.S. at one time. And at one time in the U.S., you had to grow a portion of your crop and have it dedicated to hemp because of the war. Right? So,
yes.
I mean...
and at one time, you were paid to grow hemp.
Yep. So why, you know, like, and of course, hemp not only doesn't hurt anybody or anything, it won't even get you high.
No, but you know,
why is it like
prohibition on hemp was removed at one point?
During the Second World War, you mean? Like back then? Yeah.
They removed the prohibition on hemp during the Second World War because they needed fiber for ropes and sails.
Yes,
that's true. But you know, even then, they weren't allowed to process the flowers.
Yeah, I was just going to say that everything that hits the ground has to stay on the ground and be mulched into the ground. And the only thing that they can take, even now today in Canada, is the stalk,
unless they're licensed to do the seeds.
And stalks. That's all they're allowed.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous because.
But if you look at the controlled drugs,
there's a lot of CBDs in
the criminal code.
What cannabinoids are in
stocks
in
are legal?
Yeah,
that you can have stocks as long as there's no leaves on it.
Oh, okay. What
stocks are perfectly legal to have and own. You can carry as much stock as you want, as long as there's no leaves.
So it's the leaves that are the leaves in the bud that are the illegal part.
Right. I want a 4-finger bag of stems, please.
I get your stock right here.
What cannabinoids are in the hemp plant, the male hemp plant?
Male? High CBDs, I would say.
Yeah. Because there's an awful lot of CBDs hitting the ground that could be used.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's been bred out of them.
Okay.
So you have basically CBD and not even high quantities of CBD, but you do get CBD.
But not.
But it's really the female
cannabinoids were purposely bred out of hemp.
But they still have them, right?
Yeah. Ideally, it depends on what you're growing for. You're growing for seeds, then you want females and a few males. Are you growing for fiber? If you're growing for fiber, you want male sativas.
Yeah.
Because they're going to grow the tallest.
But you can't grow those without a special license.
As long as it's below 0.03% THC, you can grow whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay, but that brings the case to point that CBDs are also illegal in Canada, are they not?
Technically, I think, yeah.
So
well, yes, they are. That's exactly why you can't process the hemp flower, because it's got those cannabinoids in it.
Oh, okay, I get you.
And it's the cannabinoids, I guess, that are technically illegal.
CBD is one of the listed cannabinoids in the CDSA under THC, actually.
Yeah. So why are we here? Why did it get this way?
Because we won't have nothing to do on a Friday night. That's why we're here.
No,
we're fixing all the cannabis problems.
Yes, we are.
It is slowly being changed because the newer, younger generations are learning the truth. They're seeing what the history was, how it was made illegal. They're also realizing the devastation that those corporations have put onto the planet.
Yep.
And the people, and eventually they're going to fight back.
You're right, and I hope they do. I hope they don't. Like I worry a little bit about what the generation that they call the millennials. You see them glued to their phones and their iPods or pads or whatever they are, and they spend an awful lot of time on social media, and I'm not sure that they're getting the best experience of life.
Hey, don't insult me like that.
This is why I go back to where I said, when I said it, we need a few more generations. This generation that we're having right now is the zombie generation.
Seems that way.
So we get past the zombie generation that they realize that, information technology is a tool. It's not a lifestyle. I can use this to educate myself. Then they can move off of being a zombie.
I hope you're right. I do, because I would hate to think that future generations are going to be even more intertwined into the social network, you know what I mean? And more reliant on it. And if that's where society's going, I don't know if I want to be around.
And
the seniors are changing too. That's the other thing you got to realize. The people that have held it back, the people that have perpetuated the lie and kept it going, now are getting old, and they're seeing some of their friends use it, and it's working and it's helping them, and people are staying alive that shouldn't have been, and they're starting to be willing to try it and take that step. So I think they're changing that way too.
That's a great point. It's the last minute conversion thing, right? Except instead of religion, it's cannabis.
It's truth.
It's truth.
And on that note, the truth.
Yeah, and on that note, we should say goodbye.
The truth shall end.
Is it that time already?
Yes,
wow.
it is.
We were almost completely had every problem, cannabis problem fixed.
Really?
Unfortunately, at the end of the show, so we're not going to be able to fix every cannabis problem.
We'll have to come back next week and do it.
We'll be back next Friday, and we'll finish up.
Tell you how to fix the rest of it.
Right.
Yeah.
We should start charging for this.
Yeah, we should.
We could have symposiums and gatherings and charge $25 a person.
Hey,
sure.
That's a
unless
great
we're
idea.
one of the politicians, because to get them come, you have to charge something like $5,000 a seat. They show up.
All right. On that note,
well, they figure if it doesn't cost the taxpayer a lot of money, it can't be worth anything.
We're leaving now. Say goodbye.
Politicians.
Goodbye.
Thank you for staying with us. If you're still there, you're
peace,
just
love, and
great.
heavy shit. Right, Chris?
Peace, love, and heavy shit. Yeah.
Right, Chris. We're gonna listen to some Sensi Rob. Sensi Rock featuring
Yeah.
Torch
What?
Herbsman.
Jaman.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We'll talk to you.
Peace out.
Peace.
Man, have you been to Canadays yet? Canadays, Campbellford's premier cannabis culture shop at 19 Bridge Street West. They've got bongs, oil rigs, grinders, and papers. Everything you need for consumption. They've got seeds, soil, nutrients, and dome trays too. Everything you need for cultivation. Get top quality seeds from top suppliers like Canuck, Crop King, and wholesaler Nexus. Canadays. They've got all kinds of awesome cannabis novelties, clothing, and apparel. I know, right? It's a lot more than just a bong shop. Interested in gaining legal access? Canadays can help. They're a PACE information center. You know, people advocating cannabis education. Come by the shop and check it out. 19 Bridge Street West, Campbellford. Canadays. Have your say without saying a word. Canadays.ca.
Selassie. Well, is it Sensi Rock again? And for your touch again. Why, oh, Mr. Earthman. Bring it on. Mr. Earthman. Oh, yeah. Bring me a bag of Cali. Mr. Earthman. Me tell you me need more of that. Mr. Earthman, bring me a bag of Cali. Mr. Earthman, well, hurry up now, cause right away, as I wake, I need to meditate. So I need a pound of cushion at me place. So right away, call up the Earthman and tell him, say don't delay. By my gate, him up, me sit down and away. Oh yeah. No sense rock, come check me so the chalice it a feel like meditation in the heights and get the red up in a we eyes so globalize, centralize. We say it's feel legalize. Babylon abundant when display for light. Alright, Mr. Earthman, tell you bring it up. Bring me a bag of Cali. Mr. Earthman, me tell you me need more. Bring me a bag of Cali, Mr. Earthman. Yeah. Well, hurry up now. Right, you know me and my brethren pon the corner. We are waiting for the Earthman to come on, yeah. Oh, tell him take so long to bring a bag of Cali come. From morning no even a split till me bum. Me have to roll it, me want to smoke it. That's why we have the whole world promoted. Me want to roll it, me want to smoke it. Now the prescription chemical drug it, ID natural Cali. Hey, Mr. Earthman, bring me a bag of Cali. Mr. Earthman, me tell you give me more. Bring me a bag of Cali. Bring me the bag of Mr. Earthman. Wow. Hurry up now. Mr. Earthman. No. Sensi Rock again. So we need the herbs. For your touch, need the chance. Sensi Rock, so bring it, come, yeah. From Jamaica to Netherlands.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is not much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiba grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.